Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Francis Faden, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you magnify your miracles. And I want to share something with you that is just blowing my mind lately. It's such a simple thing, but it's a core piece to help you really start to manifest whatever it is that you're really wanting to manifest. And people often say, like, you have to feel as if it's already here and you have to be in the energy of that feeling. But there's a really simple way to do that. And if you're like me, you might be asking the question like, well, if I've never experienced something, then how do I do that? What would it feel like? And I'm going to take you through something that's really simple today. I'm going to break it down for you because that's what I like to do. I like to make manifesting and the world of connecting with spirit simple, easy, and fun. That's what I love doing. So let's do that. But before we do anything, let's take a breath together. And we're just going to breathe in the energy of expansion. We're going to breathe out anything we no longer need. And we're just going to give ourselves permission to settle in so that whatever we hear today will quickly manifest for us. So knowing whatever we need to hear is exactly what we're going to be hearing. Let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude. And we can begin. All right, my friends. So in the world of manifestation, if you've been following my podcast, if you follow anybody else's podcast that talks about manifestation, if you've read the books, if you've watched the YouTube videos, people have been talking to write about this for over 100 years that I know of, and probably even longer than that. If you want to go way back, a lot of the manifestation techniques are written in ancient scriptures because it's just how the universe works. But when we go to apply it for ourselves, it can be challenging. So I want you to think about something that you would love to manifest. And when I say manifest, it could be something you want to experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical object that you want to have, but it can be. The way I like to say it is anything that you want to experience, achieve, or become. When I'm working with my own clients, that's the first thing I'll ask them is at the end of our coaching time together, what is it that you want to experience, achieve, or become? And then they tell me what that is. And then I, map it out so that they can do it simply, easily, and having a lot of fun doing it, because that's what I love to do. So I'm going to ask you now, what is it that you would really love? This episode's going to be coming out in December towards the end of the year. And I want to give you a little time to reflect about it. What is it that you would love to experience by the end of the year? By this time next year, however you want to say it, there's no time limit, but just think about that for a minute. Now, when you think about that, if you're reading any books about manifestation, a lot of times they'll say to you, think from the end. In other words, as if it's already here. Now, you may have heard about doing affirmations, and you may have heard about doing visualization, and you may have heard about, like, for example, if people want to go buy a car, you go test drive the car, all of that. And these are all brilliant things to do. But here's the purpose of doing them. Here's the purpose of doing them. The thing that you want to feel about your manifestation. So if I were to ask you right now, imagine that you have your manifestation, how would you feel? And for example, if you are, let's say you want to manifest some money. That's the thing a lot of people want to manifest, right? They want to have more abundance. They want to have more financial prosperity, right? A lot of times people will say, oh, I would feel ecstatic. I would feel so happy that my debt was paid off, or that I got this bunch of money. I won the lottery, or whatever it was be. And people always say, oh, they feel excited and they feel happy and, all of that, which is not a bad thing to feel. It's better than feeling anxious and worried, right? But here's the trick is if you're feeling all excited, you're actually telling yourself, this isn't normal. This isn't my regular life. I'm not usually somebody that receives large amounts of money. So this is why my nervous system is like, oh, so excited. Now, I'm not telling you to be flat about it. But the whole point of affirmations The whole point of visualizing is to get it to the point that it feels normal for you. So something my manifestation coach is working with me on right now is how to go from it feeling exciting to it feeling like another day in my miraculous life, right? Another day in your miraculous life. You open up your mail for the day and there's a check for X amount of dollars, whatever it is, and you're like, "Yep, that's my life. That's my life." Now, here's the thing. When you can start to feel normal about whatever it is that you're desiring, doesn't mean that you don't look forward to it. Doesn't mean that you don't feel grateful for it, because gratitude is another really important thing to feel. But when it doesn't feel like the exception, it feels like, yeah, this is what happens in my miraculous life. That's when things start to really shift for you. You know why? Because there's no more inner resistance. It's not feeling like, oh, am I going to be okay? Do I fit in? Whatever it might be. It's just like, yep, it's just another day for me. So I was talking to a really good friend of mine who's also was a client of mine, and she was talking about every time she has this bump up in her life, whether it's bump up in her business or when she got a new car and now she just got a new home, and there's this angst that comes up because it doesn't feel normal yet. And I was asking her, I was like, remember a couple years ago when you bought that really nice car? She's like, oh yeah, same thing happened. And I said, and how do you feel when you get in that car now? She's like, totally normal. like like I don't look at it and think, oh, it's a fancy car. It's just like, this is my car. I've always had this car, because it now feels normal. So when you're doing your manifestation techniques, I want you to really get it in your head that all you're doing is getting yourself used to this thing happening. So I'm going to give you my example. So just to get used to this practice, the coach that I had was taking us all through this process. And he said, I'm going to use money because it's the easiest thing. It's a clear thing that everyone can visualize, because everybody had so many personal things. He said, I just want us all to be doing the same thing. So he said, just to show you that this works, I want you to start visualizing that you're going to receive $10,000. And I was like, okay, that sounds easy enough. And he said, what you're going to do is you're going to get that $100 bill, and you're going to study that $100 bill, and you're going to get it in your mind so that you can see that $100 bill. And then mentally, you're going to start counting $100 bills. You're just going to be going 100, 200, 300, and you're going to be counting them to a stack of 1,000. And then you're going to get to 10. You're going to keep doing that. And he recommended doing that actually as you're falling asleep, that you're just counting $100 bills. So here's what I decided to do, because I'm a very auditory kind of a person. I get my messages. I'm very auditory, and it's really for me about the feeling more. Like the whole reason we visualize is so that we change the way that we feel. So what I did is I got a $100 bill, and I studied it, and I looked at it, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to practice counting this money. And so instead of getting $10,000 out of the bank, which would have been a lot, I got my $100 bill, and I got 9 $1 bills, right? And I put them all in a stack, and I closed my eyes, and I let myself feel the energy. I felt the money, and I started to smell the money, and I started to count it. And I was counting money. It wasn't fake money. And I kept closed my eyes, 100, 200, 300, 400. And I got to 1,000, shuffled it, put it over here. And then I did the process all over again until I got to 10,000. Now I did that process, and within about 2 days, quite unexpectedly, we had $10,000 worth of business come into our business. I was like, oh, $10,000 worth of new business. I'm like, well, that was fast. But I actually didn't do the counting, because most of what we do is digital, when they give us their credit cards and that kind of thing. So I was still doing that process of just like the counting, and it just felt like really normal. Well, flash forward about another month or so, and we decide to sell one vehicle that we have because we wanted to buy a new vehicle. The person that comes to buy the vehicle comes with cash in hand. And my wife Deepa and I were like, okay, well, let's count the cash. And here I was. It was all $100 bills, 100, 200, and got right up to the amount. And I was like, when I was doing it, I said to Deepa, this is like deja vu. I've done this before because in my mind, I've been counting money in my mind. So to hold that much, she was more nervous than I was. She was like, oh, we have all this cash. I was like, of course we have cash. It's another day in our miraculous life. Just another day in our miraculous life. Were we grateful? Absolutely. Were we happy about it? Absolutely. Did it feel weird? Not at all. Not at all. So this is what I'm going to invite you to do, my friend. I'm going to invite you to choose something that you want to manifest, whatever that might be. And I want you to pick an activity that you can do to practice being or having or doing, whatever that might be. Whatever that might be. I saw this video, which I thought was so cute, of Taylor Swift. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. It's a video of her when she's like 12 years old. And her mom took her to like all these baseball games, football games, whatever it was, so she could go sing the national anthem with her little guitar, being like 11 or 12. And at first I thought, oh, that's really sweet. And then I read what it said, and it said Taylor Swift played as many of these, sang the national anthem as often as she could because she was practicing singing in a stadium. When I read that, I got goosebumps. I was like, what is she doing? And she's just coming to the end of her Eras tour where she's playing for 90,000 people. So as a 12-year-old, she was normalizing being in a stadium singing in front of thousands of people. Even though she was singing the national anthem, she was like, here I am singing in a stadium. And so she normalized that for herself so that she now does that everywhere she goes. She's playing for tens of thousands of people. So, what can you do that you can start to have things feel normal for you? What can you do? So, if you want to go drive your dream car, what I'm going to recommend that you do is don't just go drive it and be like, oh, that was fun. I did a test drive on my car. I want you to go and sit in the car, and I want you to smell the car, and I want you to feel this is my car. Of course, this is my car. This is the car I drive in my miraculous life. And I'm really grateful for it. Something that used to happen to me when I was younger is I would go into really expensive hotels or restaurants or like really super high end. And I'd immediately feel uncomfortable, like, I don't know if I really belong here, right? So if that's you, practice going to those environments and just being like, of course, this is where I'm staying, this lovely hotel. This is the kind of hotel that I stay in my miraculous life. And try as best you can to get yourself used to being in a beautiful environment. If what you're wanting is to be healthy, you can visualize yourself going to the doctor's office and imagine the doctor coming out and saying, all your tests are negative. You're all clear. You're good to go. And you're like, yep, I knew that. Just another day, my miraculous life, my miraculous and healthy body. Absolutely. So I really hope this makes sense for you. Even if you've never experienced it before. And this was the thing that tripped me up. It's like, how am I supposed to feel? What you're going to do is you're going to just practice. So a fun thing to do is, I don't know if you guys do this anymore, but it used to be that you would fill out a little deposit slip and go to the bank. Everything's so electronic now that it might not be easy. But if you have a little deposit slip for your checking account, start filling it out with the number that you want to go deposit. And you can fill it out, put it in an envelope, and drive to the bank and walk into the bank and say hi to everybody. Even though you don't have that cash, you want to normalize, I'm going to the bank to deposit large amounts of money because that's what I do. That's normal for me. So when you can start to feel that things are normal, that's when things go like that. Very much, this is the law of assumption. This is a Neville Goddard type of a technique, which is what my coach is teaching me, but it is miraculous. So I want to hear what you think about this rather than racking your brain and trying to imagine. We're not going for excitement. We're actually going for normal. All the things that you have in your life right now. And this is a beautiful thing to think about If you think about the home that you're in, or the car that you drive, or the relationship that you're in, or the state of your health, or whatever it might be, there's everything in your life that you have now at some point is something that you wanted. At some point, it's something that you wanted. And I think about that so much. I think about my business and my practice. And oh my God, 30 years ago when I was working for this maniac boss that was like the last boss I ever had, was like horrible. I would have given anything to be able to have the life that I have now. And now I'm like, this is my miraculous life. It's normal for me to get to talk to you every week. It's normal for me to have lovely clients who are manifesting miracles in their lives. It's normal for me to be able to channel Mother Mary and have people experience miracles. Like, that's my miraculous life. So grateful for it, but it's become normal. So, how can we get to that next level of whatever it is for you and make that feel normal for you? I'd love to hear about what you're going to do. Now, if you want some help with this is what I love helping people do. This is what I love helping, especially women, step into, is how can you manifest your deep heart's desire? How can you manifest your sacred life purpose? It's so much easier than you think it is, especially when you have help. And I would love to help you. So if you're interested in having some help, especially to have a coach in the new year, just click below to schedule a miracle meeting with me, or you can just email me directly. And I'd love to talk to you about what it's like to normalize success. What is it like to normalize miracles? What's it like to have your day-to-day life be the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of yourself? And wake up every day like, yep, that's my life. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful. That's my life. It's normal for me to have amazing, abundant relationships and excess money in the bank and amazing health reports from my doctor. Just another day in your miraculous life. All right, my friend. So let me know what you think about this. If you know somebody who could really use this message, please share this with them on social media, send it to your friends and family, and really encourage them. Get somebody that can help you. If it's not me, get somebody who can help you to do this. And you'll start to see so quickly things begin to change. I'd love to know your thoughts. Please feel free to leave me a comment, and we'll see you next time, my friend. And remember, your miracle, it's already here. We know why? Because it's just another day in your miraculous life. Right, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.